We're in Great Lakes country on the shores of Lake Erie. Here in Toledo, Ohio, it's where the riders of the Pro Rough Stock will tell their stories as they look to avoid turbulent waters and chart a course toward the PRS World Championship. It is fitting that this is stop number 8 on the 8 Seconds of Insanity Tour, as it promises to be the wildest one yet. The PRS Toledo Open starts right now.
Welcome to the PRS Toledo, Ohio.
We're at the beautiful Huntington Event Center in the heart of downtown Toledo, Ohio, as we've almost reached the midway point of the 2014 Pro Rough Stock season. Hi, everybody. I'm Justin McKee, along with world champion bareback rider Kelly Timberman and PBR world finalist Cord McCoy, and we're getting ready to see another exciting event. Last year, the PRS came here, and the crowd was absolutely outrageous, and they're going to have a lot of things to cheer about here this year as well.
Yeah, J.J. Elsher and the Bronc riding is breaking all kinds of records this year. Last week in Gonzales with 2 89-point rides.
That's huge.
Yeah, broke his season record of last year with 176 total, average rate. That's unbelievable. And then coming into this year, he has a chance to win his 4 consecutive title in a row this season. That's unheard of in any sport. That's just unheard of.
Yeah, Justin McDaniel's the only guy who has done that, where he put 4 wins in a row, and you're right, 4 wins in a row at the pro level is huge.
Well, you said it yourself. It's your halfway season. We got 7 events under our belt already, but that's like just being on the other side of the world. You got a gold buckle in your mind, but it's the Pro Rough Stock Series. These guys are beat up, banged up. It's kind of who survives the rest of the season is going to get a championship buckle.
That's right. It is rough stock. It's not smooth. All right. Last week in Gonzales, there was no season leader change, but as we take a look at a guy who's gaining some momentum, or at least raising some eyebrows, we've got a rookie bareback rider that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, Jared Keelan came in last week, just dominated at Gonzales. He's a rookie for the PRS. He's been riding since he was a teenager. He's got a horse named Smoke This, a 3-bar J. The way he's riding, he may be the first rookie to win back-to-back PRS titles.
Well, let's get to it. First up in the chute is young Tanner Bergener out of Douglas, Wyoming, on a horse from 3-bar J Rodeo called Western Trails. And here's a guy that was born into the bareback riding business.
Yeah, this kid, he's from Douglas, Wyoming, and I followed his dad around the Rocky Mountain region there. He pretty much dominated everything. So this kid has definitely got bareback riding in the blood.
Well, he's got the skills, and Cord, as we watch this ride, this youngster coming up to this level, we haven't seen a lot of him, but he's staying real tight up on that rigging.
Right there coming to the fence, though, when the judge is really watching, he's pushing on that gas pedal, Kelly. He's getting after with his feet.
Oh, and there's a lot to be said about the dancing partner you have, too. That horse right there, it was just fun. The kind of horse that sets up, gives a guy a chance to really feel the spurs in the contact that horse's neck and make that proper spur ride. 83 points.
Welcome to the PRS, Tanner Bergener, his highest score yet on this tour. Let's go to the number 13 rider this year from Columbia Falls, Montana. Danny Webb has got a horse called Crooked Sky, and here's a guy who has had all kinds of injuries.
This is one of the toughest guys I know. He's went through 3, not 1, not 2, 3 hip surgeries, and look at how aggressive and how strong he's riding bareback horses.
That was challenging, Kelly. You see that horse kind of pushed down the gate, didn't give him the best start, and that horse is bucking kind of flat. It's not breaking over, giving him a rhythm. He's having to work for everything he gets there.
Man, he's aggressive. The funnest part about bareback riding for me is to watch these guys just go 9-0, 100%, even when it doesn't feel like things are going right. These guys grit their teeth, bear down, and go forward. That's going to be a good score.
Hey, this thing's starting off great. 84 points for Danny Webb. Come back and play this game at this level. Here's the number 5 bareback rider. Eric, I just want to spur some ponies. Wolford out of Belfouche, South Dakota, on a horse that you think might be the toughest one in the pen.
This is probably the rankest horse in the pen. Going to turn right here and just gets it on, and you can see that horse getting a little Yankee. Almost bucked him off right there, and that's kind of what you'd call wasting one a little bit. The horse took advantage of some power and just took that rigging away, and man, that was a tough ride for old.
All right,
Eric
so,
Wolford.
I tell a lot of people, if you want to judge bareback riding, look who's in control of the ride. That will determine how big the score is going to be for the Cowboy. Who was in control that time?
That horse, absolutely had a lot of front-end movement. If you don't get your hips up underneath you, he's going to take advantage of it and beat you up a bit.
All right, there's our leaders. Danny Webb is on top, and the youngsters seem to be faring very well here in Toledo as we go to Cimarron Gerke. Been out in retirement for 2 years, but the American got him back, and he's got a taste for the arena once again. He's on Resistol's top hat from Sutton Rodeo Company.
Yeah, I traveled with Cimarron the years. We went to the finals 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Just a superb bareback rider. The guy's been actually training racehorses. He is in the best shape I've ever seen him in. You can see here his feet kind of drop a little bit, but just stays aggressive, gets that good spur motion going, and really utilizes the animal he's got underneath him.
Kelly, we're in the bareback riding. Why do they have a halter on that horse there?
That horse bucks in the Bronc riding too, and it's just familiar. It keeps him a little bit shorter. He's got a tendency to go down the pin a little bit, get long, and that kept him a little bit more honest.
All right, 80 points as we go on to one of our storylines here. Jared Keelan is the rookie in the PRS this year, but he's been to the Wrangler National Finals, and he was the Gonzales champion last week, shattered ankle and all. Here he is.
Look at that start. That's my favorite thing about watching Jared. He's got just a great start. Toes turned out solid. That body does not move, and I tell you what, folks, that's one of the hardest things to learn in the bareback riding.
The thing I like about Jared is he's got a new life in the professional rough stock series because he's like a lot of us. The older he gets, the less he wants to leave home, and this is really working to be something that suits him perfectly.
Wife and kids at home, and he's coming to these events because he loves to ride bareback horses, and a guy that rides that caliber, we need him here.
Another great comeback story for him. He's moved up to number 9. We'll see if it holds on for a top 4. Here's the number 2 rider and the guy who made almost every Wrangler Final 4 round last year. It's Josie Young of Idaho going up against Sutton's Gunslinger.
Young gun, Josie Young. Man, that's a nice horse, this Sutton's. Comes around to the right a little bit and just kind of...
Whoop. What happened there?
I don't know.
He just set up. Did he think the ride was over?
He was using the horse up there, comes around the corner. The horse kind of gets a little flat there. Josie's behind. He's hitting him, but when the horse's feet hit the ground, Josie's not getting in contact, and then I think he thought he heard the whistle.
He thought he heard the whistle and lost who knows how many points. Would have been up in the 80s and
Has
mental
that ever
mistake.
happened to you?
Oh, I've been there. You'd be amazed how fast I can count to 8 seconds.
And I've literally
I've done
heard
it
people
before.
whistle in the crowd and have sat up and double grab.
And think that was it. Who
Yeah.
knows what happened? We know what did happen. It affected his score, and he's not going to make it back. But the young guns, Danny Webb and Tanner Bergener, they set the pace early on, and nobody could catch him. Great stories here, 84 and 83 points. Coming up, bull riding. Top riders McKenna Wimberly, Dave Samsel, and John Young all try to take the season lead from an injured John Jacobs. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Huntington Center in Toledo, Ohio, and we've got our final 4 in the bareback riding for next week's show, and now it's time for the top 4 spots in bull riding. And here are the current world standings, Court.
And this is opportunity time for the other bull riders. John Jacobs is out at least until the fall series with a shoulder injury. McKenna Wimberly, but the hot guy is the veteran Dave Samsel. Keep an eye on him. He knows what it takes to get to number 1.
Well, let's do a little Toro twisting. Here's Bump Postlethwaite out of Amanda, Ohio, close to home here on Juicy Fruit. Here's a 12-time qualifier to the International Finals Rodeo. He's also been there in steer wrestling, too. This is a tough guy, Cord.
He is. I tell you what, Bump can work every event, and it ain't like a try there. A big guy and a little bull like that, it's even tougher. I think the stronger bulls, the bigger the guy it helps. But when that little bull is making 3 jumps to every move he makes, it kind of makes it a little tricky. You got
just got bowed out over the front end, that upper body.
I tell you, that last second in bull riding is the toughest second to ride.
Yeah, well said. Well said, 7.19. Remember, if a lot of guys buck off, he could get into the Wrangler Final 4 round with that time. Willis Trosclair is up now, though. He's number 14. Remember last year, he won 2 events and finished second to McKenna Wimberly for the championship. He's on a bull called Baggage from Buckeye Rodeo Company, and he's in trouble early.
That's the bad thing about some of those bulls. You kind of know the routine. If everybody says he's 2 jumps and around to the right, you see Willis, he got over there before the bull even caught up with him. I think he knows he made that mistake, too. You see this bull, when he comes around, he's already there. He knew there was a right turn coming.
Hit him. 3 or 4 times with his free hand. That's a disqualification if you're new to pro rough stock. And, the worst thing about it, it's a double whammy because you think, doggone, I hit him with a
you
free
see
hand.
they put 2.2 seconds. That's exactly when he hit the bull with a free hand. They got to disqualify. Even though he was on top of the bull for 8 seconds, they stopped the clock when he hit with his free hand.
But the other bad part is he knew he could ride the bull. That's the double
He did ride
whammy.
the bull. He just knew both hands.
They ain't going to get a score, though. Here's Brent Menz out of Missouri, Little Waspy from Bollinger Bucking Bulls.
Well, this bull, you could tell the breed, the little yellow jacket in there. Oh, man, the old bull just kind of got him. He got him set back on his pockets there just a little bit, and that's when you kind of get in the power zone of them bulls.
Yeah, but how he did that was that little bitty fake. He gave a little bitty fake to the left.
Back. Oh, man.
You could even see it on that angle. You can see it there because he had him tipped over into his hand.
Oh, even if you weigh 150 pounds, there's way more than 150 pounds pressure on your hand right there, and it'll take you back door and on your head.
Good stuff. All right, here's your scoreboard. You can see no big scores as we go to Shane Rickley, number 5 in points. He, too, is an Ohio Cowboy. He's an IPRA champion from 2011, top 5 in the PRS in 2012, and he's got, hello, darling.
Go ahead, finish what you got. Oh, man, you just hate to see that end. And that's the thing, you know that whistle is coming. All they had to do was just loosen up and go one more jump.
That was a bull ride.
That bull was kind of leaping and coming. He's making it right. Oh, if you just want to just set up one more round.
That was going to be huge, guys. That woulda, coulda, shoulda been one of the best rides I've seen in PRS history. The good news is 7.4 it will get him to the Wrangler Final 4 round if all the rest of the guys ride, because there's only 3 left. Let's go now to John Young. He won in his home state in Iowa last week at Council Bluffs. He's on Big John from Bollinger Bucking Bulls.
Well, Big John, he's got his blinker on there, but the bull is turning to the right, but he wants him on the inside. You see that bull leaning over there, wanting him to move in there, but that's old tricky bull there.
Well, John Young's riding percentage here early on in his PRS career is through the roof. I mean, solid. This guy is maple syrup sticky. Oh, he looks good. Score coming in, 83 points for John Young. He's number 4. He's thinking about that number 1 spot with John Jacobs out of competition. Now let's go to Dave Samsel, but before we do, let's tell a little bit about his story. Dave Samsel, 43 years old. In Rapid City, he took a stomping. Takes a big shot of stomp right here. Bam! Oh. Then in Gonzales, 92 points. He sets a record for the highest score in pro rough stock history. And here he is, number 3 in points for the championship this year. He didn't take the bait to the right. Oh, but he did lose that left foot.
Oh, you do need it. A great move, because the bull kind of deked him one way and was going back around the other way, but it's never over until the whistle blows. He's
great
riding,
move back to center there.
That inside foot, you can watch it right. Oh, just kick him in the tail.
Ooh, you just straddled him.
Yeah, funny stuff, ain't it?
Oh,
he knows he snuck away there.
You can laugh now. Dodge the bullet.
When it's over, it's all funny.
All right. Here's the number 2 man and last year's champion, McKenna Wimberly out of Cool, Texas. He's on Longbow. Here's a man that won Jackson this year. Here he is. He's set on Longbow. Looks up. I started to say.
I think he just lost his rope there. That bull kind of stepped forward there a couple times. You can see the last jump there. He was making the move, but he didn't even have a hold of his bull rope. Lost his rope, just kind of fell out the back there. That bull just stepped forward, and he didn't move with him. You got to keep reaching to that front.
3.7, the time isn't going to be long enough to get him in there. 1 qualified ride here in the long round in Toledo. So John Young has got the jump. He's got a full ride or a full bull ahead of the field. As you see, Rick, the postal weight, and Samsel get in based on their ride time. Stay with us. Saddle bronc riding is up next. Can South Dakota's J.J. Elsher make it 4 event titles in a row? We'll begin to find out next. Welcome back to the Toledo Open in Toledo, Ohio, and we want to remind fans that the 2014 PRS World Finals, they are coming once again to Rapid City, South Dakota. Go to ProRoughstock.com for ticket information. Well, we've got our final qualifiers in bareback and bull riding. We're ready for the saddle bronc riding, and Kelly Timberman, load the chutes for us.
Jesse Williams. Jesse was hot early in the year in Kentucky. Coming in today, I think with Kerrison, he's got the best pluck out of the pin. And then little Will Schaefer, we watched him in Gonzales, and he said his binds were too tight, so he loosened up his stirrup straps a little bit. Great bronc riding. Let's watch it.
All right, let's head to the Bronco Depot. Bronc win from Utah on Bar Bandit from 3 Bar J Rodeo. First time we've seen Bronc on the tour, I believe.
Yeah, this is a really nice horse too. Sets up, bucks hard, kind of a little bit behind there, made a little move and just bucked him off.
Yeah, like some of the bulls we saw earlier there, Cord. Gave him a little look to the right, and he took the bait.
Just the opposite of Dave. The horse kind of had a little duck and dive there, but he went back to the left. His foot was stuck in the front and just jerked him over into his foot.
That's why that being in front of that horse's shoulder before that horse's front feet hit the ground, if you can have contact with your feet, it gives you that consistency and that solid up underneath your swells. Otherwise, you're going to get thrown on your head.
Trace Houston will go next on Black Maria of Rafter 3 Rodeo Company. Trace is from McBain, Michigan.
And don't let it fool you. That whole Houston family, I mean, they're all cowboys and lots of Bronc riders. Even put on their own big rodeo up there. So these guys have seen a couple of Broncs.
All right, he gets to the whistle right there. First qualified ride in saddle bronc riding here in Toledo, and it started off good. Got his head there the first jump out, but he got his chin tucked and finished off pretty good.
That's a classy little black horse. Little bit long down the pin, but that horse kicked every single jump, and we wouldn't mark that horse real high because he was straight down the pin, but still kicked, made a decent spur ride, just kind of an average ride all the way together.
77.5 for Trace Houston. Now to the number 15 saddle bronc rider, Eric Wolford. He's on Gunsmoke from Rafter 3.
I'm kind of like Kelly earlier talking about how he's going to get hot. Riding multiple events, some of your best rides come after the worst ones in the first events.
Yeah, boy, I'm telling you what, that horse bucks. Gunsmoke from Rafter 3 Rodeo Company, and Eric Wolford, he had a saddle full right there.
Well, that's right. This horse starts to get a little bit long and then just really starts to set up and bucks right here. Look at that.
It almost looked like from the side shot, his saddle was running back and he was having to crawl up there to them shoulders.
Well, he did. He got his feet up front, and look at that score, 85.5. Big score from the horse, and that cowboy didn't get too far behind. He was able to catch up, and he's on top of the leaderboard. Now to Will Schaefer out of Nebraska. He's on that horse. You mentioned you really like Shastas.
Yes.
How come?
This is a horse there. She's just rider friendly. Circles around the left, does the same trip almost every show we've had her on. And guys want to draw it. And you could see here, you know what? I think he loosened his stirrup probably too much. It looked like he's having a hard time keeping him on his feet.
Well, I was kind of watching the binds there a little bit too. That old horse just bobbing his head, and that's the bad thing. When you got one like that, if you don't get a good score, it's your own fault. So looking back that, hey, something's wrong, or I'm out of time. So you want to fix something because it ain't the horse.
All right, 78 points. 78 on Shasta for Painted Pony. We see a lot of that horse because we have so many shows east of the Mississippi.
Pretty.
Hope they got a photographer.
Here's Jesse Williams of Paso Robles, California. He won in Fresno in 2012. He's on Kerosene from Buckeye Rodeo Company. You mentioned that this might be the best horse in the pen.
Everybody wanted to draw this horse. Just really rider friendly, nice up underneath herself, and kicks hard. Look at that horse go.
What a great bucking horse and a really good ride for Jesse Williams. Just needs a qualified ride to make the Final Four.
One of my favorite things about Jesse is the guy always stays positive. He's an athlete. He actually trains UFC back home, with some great fighters. And I tell you what, he's one of the toughest guys I've ever seen, but probably one of the nicest guys on top of that.
I think he had a better right side than left side. That right side early into that ride. 82.5, though. He'll move into the second place spot as we go to one more. J.J. Elsher, can he win 4 in a row? He's on Bubba from Painted Pony.
This is a lot of horse right here for JJ. I know he's seen this horse straight down the pin. He's going to just buck. A lot of front end, a lot of kick. You can see right there he kind of got a little bit behind but stayed aggressive. Kept on through the motion and bail and dismount. His wife's not going to be happy for that.
Well, he was running. He was running way down that rein. See where that rein is, right up on the swells when he starts, and then watch where it ends up. I don't know when he got some rein. He sure did.
The first couple of jumps looked like those swells were really moving up and down. And about the third jump, the horse changed system, going forward.
Hey, judges loved it. 83.5. That'll put him in the number 2 spot for the go-around and give him a Wrangler Final Four spot on next week's show. But Eric Wolford with that big ride on Gunsmoke. Big horse with lots of moves. Gets him to the top of the leaderboard. Still to come from here in Toledo, we'll preview the matchups for next week's Wrangler Final Four Showdown round and name our top highlights of the night. We're back in Toledo, Ohio, and we want to take a look at the Final Four matchups for next week. Cord and Kelly, who do you like in the bareback riding?
This is probably the best Final Four that we're going to see all year up to our finals. I don't know who's got the best horse. It's going to be, who knows? I mean, it's just going to be that good of watching.
Kelly, you know I got to go with the real McCoy. I seen that on the bottom of the list. That's got to be a good one.
It's a rank horse.
All right, in bull riding, what do you think?
Well, you know, John Young, you just got to go with that matchup. The bull easy does it, but don't let that fool you. He's a tough one. They set aside 4 of the rankings for these guys this week.
All right, in saddle bronc riding, we've got some star power in the bucking horses.
We got Sutton's Chucky Later, the 2013 PRS Horse of the Year. This big old stud horse is phenomenal.
So let's take a look at the highlights from this week's show. Our John Deere Big Buck of the Night goes to the top performing animal. And Kelly, who do you like?
My John Deere Big Buck of the Night's going to go to Ghost from 3 Bar J, the one Eric Wolford had in the bareback riding. Right there, boys, that's a bucking horse. Everything that you want to see comes around right in front of the chutes. Got a lot of kick, a lot of movement, and kind of hard to ride.
Our Big Buck of the Night is sponsored by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. Well, in our Kershaw Cutting Edge Performance highlight of the night, Cord, who do you like?
Well, when I'm thinking cutting edge performance, I like to see a guy get back up, dust himself off, and make good rides like Eric Wolford. You see him take a jerking in the bareback riding and come win the bronc riding. That's a cutting edge performance for me.
Absolutely. There's nothing like the best ride, and there's nothing like a Kershaw. Next week, a Wrangler Final Four showdown round from right here in Toledo. For Cord McCoy and Kelly Timberman, I'm Justin McKee. See you then.